Yeah, it sounds really stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. Alright, let's get
Anyway.
the link.
The Tuck Files, you won the Umbra Combinations Trophy, the Patron. Oh, Jesus Christ, the Patrons D.
Oh, that was great.
Miami like a high school team.
No, it's a joke. They're just a complete joke of a team. Complete.
I got Dak playing them this week. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I picked up, what's his name? Devin Smith.
Alright, yeah, I saw you picked up Devin Smith.
He's going to go huge. Damien Williams is going to get dropped.
You're going to drop him?
I am going to drop him.
Do you want to do a problem running back trade?
As you want. What, him for?
Philip Lindsay. Problem running back swap.
I'd rather have a problem running back in the Kansas City offense. I'm honest.
We'll discuss after this show.
I'm tempted to use Carlos Hyde's trade bait with Ollie Gardner.
Oh yeah, just trying
to get shady.
Yeah, he's been better than Duke Johnson. Oh yeah, I'll check that. Right, we got audio.
I've heard both of them. I feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Also, I'm waiting for him to drop him in the bye weeks as well because he will.
Yeah, the bye week's been really tough this year considering we've got one less starting spot, but one less bench spot.
You can't hold as much, can you? That deal kicker that you really liked. That's it. You have to choose. I hope they do it in the same week.
Super chat. Post. Gosh. Go.
I'd say though, if there's one division to be in, it's our one.
Yeah. All of them have spotted a bit to begin with, to be fair. PS.
And don't want to play Phil. Phil has the team this year. Phil has the team to propel him to greatness.
Right, here we go.
If Phil doesn't win the league this year, honestly, something has to go very wrong.
The whole Liam Kumar Day effect. Not really help.
Nigel couldn't make it. I've recommended all he said he could make it.
Don't think this whole. Phil, credit to the guy. He's always managed to do well. He is a shocking person. You guys got a trophy? No. It was pre-bit.
Well, that's from Rashad Mendenhall.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the LOC Report. The co-host is back. Chris Leach is back. How's it going, Chris?
I actually am, and I'm very well. That's it. It's great to be back for the first proper show this year.
Yeah.
I've missed the last two. I have missed ever being here.
Yeah.
I've missed doing it.
Indeed. And I apologise, dear listeners, that you have been deprived of your colourful host or co-host, as it has been my scheduling conflicts that have led to Chris's absence and not mine.
Possibly.
Not his, sorry. But hey, doesn't matter, you're here now. And we're going to have a good show because we're going to look at, obviously, what's happened in week 2, looking back at week 2, and also looking forward at week 3. So there you go. Well, let's just get straight into it, shall we?
100%.
We need to fire up the jingle because you know what comes next, listeners. Here it comes. Yeah. It is the league news. In terms of LOC news, not really too much before we obviously get to the transactions, but there is one ticket remaining for the NFL London game. Just worth mentioning it. One left. Ollie might want it, if not, but whoever wants it can get it. So there you go.
They can.
And that is the Texans-Jags game, I believe, just in case you're listening. So that's fine. We will go to our key transactions of the week. Now, we only had 2 last week. I picked out 4 this week, Chris. And you don't feature on this one, though. Not this week.
Not this week.
But it was a good one last week. So number 1, we have Matthew Stafford for Gardner Minshew by Ixan for $18. Matthew Stafford plays away to the Eagles this week. Just
difficult.
For your information. What is your thoughts on that transaction?
Well, now I think that Matthew Stafford's had his most promising start, bearing in mind that no one really expected much of Detroit this year. So he's had a very good fan, especially fantasy-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can definitely see why it's worth the pickup. However, this week, matchup-wise, isn't massively good. I would rather have him playing the Eagles in a potential shootout than I would do Gardner Minshew playing the Titans in a low-scoring, tight defensive game. So I think that in that case, it's not a bad move at this point, and I think Ben does need a little bit of I don't know. It's security, shall we say,
sure.
at QB, so he can do that early. $18 isn't that much really in the grand scheme of things, especially for someone who you know what you're going to get out of.
Sure.
Let's pull up just for a second. Let's pull up Matthew Stafford's
absolutely.
Schedule, because that's possibly what we're being looked at.
We're going to get the big note. We're going to go down.
There we go. So we got he plays at Philly, then he plays in what is sure to be a shootout against KC. Then at Green Bay again, play the Vikings not great, play the Giants good, Oakland good, Chicago not good away. Ooh, no. Dallas sneaky good D there, Washington not great, Chicago not great. So I think for longevity's sake possibly not, but maybe for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, not inclusive of the bye, I think that maybe is okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean I understand the stream. I'm not sure if away to the Eagles is the best option. I can't recall off the top of my head what the streaming options are like for QBs this week. My gut feel is not great.
Let's have a look.
Oh yeah, well we can have a look. It's right here. I don't believe there's been any other QBs added.
Oh no! So look, you have to be very bold. I see Case Keenum at the top. You have to be very bold playing him against Chicago.
Yeah. So we have Andy Dalton away to Buffalo. It's not the best. Mario away to Jags. Brissett at home to Falcons is quite an enticing one, and Garoppolo at home to Pittsburgh.
They're both not bad. That's it.
Yeah.
Rivers against Houston, obviously not great again. Gardner Minshew's
and these guys are on waivers.
And then after that, not
much to speak.
Not a lot at all. That's it. I mean, I looked down a little bit there. I see Kirk Cousins against Oakland.
Although, yeah, that could be a good one. He definitely had a horror show against Green Bay, but what Mahomes just did.
That's it. But yeah, you have to be very bold. I think that is quite a bad bunch, and I think Matthew Stafford very much is the best of that.
Sure. Our next one then, Royce Freeman for Dante Moncrief, $15. Bare necessities behind that transaction. I picked this one out, not so much because of the ad. I think he was going to be added in a lot of leagues this week, but the value, what do you make of the value?
I think this is a classic case of, see if I don't bid 15 then someone else is going to outbid me.
Okay.
This is a blind bid auction, and I think this is for security's sake.
It's
yeah,
tough.
Exactly that. That's it. This is something obviously that they wanted a lot.
Yeah.
It gives them the chance to be able to do that. Dante Moncrief, I think, is done fantasy wise.
Yeah, almost done.
I think he's done with the Steelers as well. To be quite honest, I think
quite possibly.
They've definitely had enough of him. So yeah, I think that going forward, that's definitely the best move.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of upside, and yeah, I think $15. We might be looking at that in a few weeks' time and going, that's it, that's great value. But it seems a bit high now. But I think we've seen much streakier players go for an awful lot more.
Sure. Speaking of streakier players, the next one we have on here is DeMarcus Robinson for Phillip Rivers, $9 by Tom's Tyrants. He just came off some ridiculous, like a 38-point week. In fact, I could bring it up here while we speak. So this one I actually, I wanted to point out 29 points, still ridiculous. I was expecting him to go for more than $9. What do you think?
Yeah, so did I. I mean, we see a lot of these bounce back sort of players each week, and $9 I think is a steal now, because we've seen that any of the Kansas City receivers can break out.
Yeah.
Week on week, I think with Tyreek not being there makes difference. Sure. I think Kelsey hasn't necessarily been there for touchdowns anyway. So,
I think he scored one, but week one he didn't. I don't think.
Yeah. So I think we see guys like that, guys like Sammy Watkins. One of them's going to go off for you. It's just who it's going to be. It's a bit of a roulette.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's what maybe pegged back his value a bit. He didn't do anything when Hill went out in that game.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that just because, when you're going into a game with a game plan and whatnot, you can game plan a guy in, but when that happens in a game, it's a bit different.
For sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed there. He had his week this week. It could be Sammy Watkins had his week in week one. It could be Mecole Hardman next week, or whoever.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, but I literally betting $9 on red is not a problem.
No, absolutely not. And the last interesting one I picked out here was not actually a waiver claim. It was just a free agent ad. Raheem Mostert for James Washington, free agent edition by the Tuckfards. This was a guy that was very expected, or I at least was very expecting to be claimed by someone for something, and he goes for not even a waiver claim, completely free.
That's fair. I think that with the San Francisco backfield, it's very difficult to place some of these guys. I think Moster's good for maybe a spot start week. This week and next week, but after that, that's it. Especially when Coleman returns. And
absolutely.
He's firing, then possibly the value drops. So I think again, for free agency, it's good value now. For a week or two, if he plays him, then great. If he doesn't, then doesn't. But at least he's got him, and he's preventing other people from getting him, which is half the game here. Will he do anything? That's it. That's it. But again, they've got a lot of mouths to feed too, and their passing attack seems an awful lot better. So I think that it's a potent weapon if played correctly.
Absolutely. And we were just chatting before the show that I struggle a lot with doing the free agent bidding.
Yeah.
Because I kind of pick out a few people I want, but then the values in our league are so off-piste. Like we've just demonstrated, you get some crazy bids out of nowhere, and then some guys who you'd expect to get high bid on aren't bid on at all or whatever. And then some people just don't claim anything. No. And then some guys are still rostered that you're like, and then there's free agents out there you're like, how are they not added yet? Like, if I had an extra 3 bench spots. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, 100%. That's it. People for me, it's always interesting to see how people value even the smaller.
That's the thing, isn't it?
The smaller players, that's it. And later on, is how many people value kickers and DSTs. That's it. When people, we saw this with Ben last year a lot. Like, $15, $20 for a bye-week defensive team. Like, don't do it to yourselves, people.
Was it the New York Jets, if I recall?
Yeah, that's right. $18.
That's the $18.
One.
He likes 18. 18.
That was well. That's it. There you go. Something about it. So.
There you go. Anyway, so that's the key transactions. I don't have any more news. Do you have any more news?
I got very little news.
That's fine. Let's go straight into the week 2 matchups then. So. We want to go to week 2, and we want to find last week's marquee matchup, which was this one right here. And I guess you could say it didn't disappoint.
It lived up to it.
It was Tom's Tyrants against the Tugfarts.
That's it. I mean, look at that.
Whoa. We have jingles now.
No!
Yes, because Tom's Tyrants took on the Tugfarts in a highly touted week 1 matchup. 2 undefeated teams facing off against each other, but one would leave, and it was decisively the Tugfarts. Nearly doubling, more or less, Tom's Tyrants score, 144 to 75. Phil was led mainly by, you guessed it, New England Patriots defense against Miami with 44 points. But seriously, Patrick Mahomes got 40 as well. And it wasn't all firing, but when you have that on your bench, or on your team, it certainly gets high point totals. On the other side of the ball, bit of a sputtering game for Tom's Tyrants. Austin Eckler and Chris Godwin had good games, but behind that, not really much to speak of.
Isn't that the BBC News?
Close. It's Sky News from 2011.
Oh, I knew I recognised that. That's it. There you go. That is a throwback. That's great.
There you go.
I love that. Okay, this was a beatdown. This is a beatdown of all beatdowns. And we've said this before. I know if you've listened to a podcast regularly, which I hope you have for the last 5 or 6 years that we've been doing this. It's got to be 6 years now. We've always said that if you have 3 key players on your team and they all perform, you don't need anybody else on your team.
Yeah.
This worked this week because 2 players on Phil's team combined for 80 points, near enough. Or 84 points, near enough. That's it. So, if you're lucky enough to have that, you shouldn't be losing. Especially when you've got guys like Saquon Barkley and Keenan Allen, and that's about it. That's it. Then you're all good. We've seen team like this before where it is QB or bust. Mahomes or bust is a genuine thing.
If you're going to pick a QB to go with, it's probably the one you want.
He's the guy, and he's definitely rewarding Phil for some bold draft picks. But I mean, behind that, John Ross got an absolutely pikey garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bold play. You didn't listen to the pod last week, but I absolutely lambasted Phil for having the having the hubris to start D.D. Westbrook and John Ross.
There's some audacity
Westbrook definitely, I was 100% right on that. Ross, did work out. I didn't do it,
but it didn't do anything for after the game. That's the thing. It's fine to be able to scumbag 66-yard touchdown out there, but it's not going to happen every week. But the thing that I have with this is that 144 points is fine, but 44 points of that is the highest D score I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was trying to think. We've definitely had 30-pointers. I can't recall seeing
Never
one.
think.
And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was.
Absolutely
Yes,
ridiculous.
It was. It was men against boys there.
But they could do it again. That's the scary thing. They're playing the Jets this week.
Well, yeah,
We're on their third quarterback.
Exactly, yeah, that's it. So I do think that Phil set up well there. You know, and we talk about point scoring. Well, you know, so on one hand, Phil's QB and DST is equated for all of Tom's points plus 10.
Yep.
And we can see why. I see it. There's a deficiency at QB. The running backs are garbage.
Yeah.
And they certainly, for where he picked him up and for the expectations this year between these guys, they haven't performed. Receiver wise, Goblin is fantastic. Eckler is great, and I think it will continue to be great. But yeah, so other than that, it's very, 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 very beige. So yeah, I think that you've got really two contrasts here. Is that Phil's going to be extremely happy, although there'll be some weeks where he's going to be extremely unhappy.
Yeah,
that's it. Because
like you said, you know, you had those big scores, but behind that, you know, there's not a lot to speak of.
He's very reliant on Mahomes and Barkley to do well every week because you know, as you've seen, a DST will not win you weeks every single week of the year, and they won't be playing Miami because they are absolutely the worst team I've seen in my lifetime. Absolutely.
They are bad.
So yeah, I think if Mahomes and Barkley turn up, then Phil's great, and plus one more. If they don't, his receivers are massively questionable.
Yeah, that's who he's got on the bench.
And on the bench, you'd say...
he's got Fitz. I can't believe Fitz didn't get in there. But, you know, outside of that, yeah.
Outside of that, yeah, exactly that. I see. But he loves playing Westbrook, and even in bad matchups like that, which is just stupid. And with a QB, it's called Gardner. And runs around a lot and doesn't do a great deal. But, like, you know, look, we're not going to completely lambast that, as we say.
No.
That's it. He does have a little bit behind that. Tom, on the other hand, I think he's going to be sweating at night.
Yeah, I think it's curious because coming out of the draft and even during week one, Tom's team looked really good. Obviously, he won his week one matchup, and then you know, Foles going down really hurts for Nets' outlook. You know, I saw today he played 97% of the snaps.
That's it. Yeah, exactly that.
So he's going to get the volume, but that's going to be the result more often than not.
But it helps that Minshew runs around a lot.
Yeah,
that takes the value out. Same as it takes the value out of Mark Ingram playing on the other side.
Carson looked really good in week one, but he fumbled and he had another fumble, but he recovered the second one.
And then Rashad Penny came on, and off he went and did really well.
Jeffrey got injured, which was the most, you know, if you were a betting man, that they wouldn't even take bets on that.
Exactly that,
because you know it's going to happen. And like you said, the quarterback situation at the moment is a mess. So yes, you are right. Tom, you know, shaky ground. Phil... maybe shaky ground covered up by a few things.
I think, yeah, well, I see it, yeah. Phil's put a carpet over his cracks.
There you go. We'll go on to our next game. I can't go on without telling you the history of that matchup.
Oh, no.
Because this actually is probably the most played game in the LSC. I haven't gone down and looked exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It's either the most or joint most.
18 times.
So, yeah, they faced each other 18 times, and Phil's leading it now, 10 wins to 8.
All right then, Phil. That's it.
There you go. Quite the rivalry there.
I will say this now, because it's the first time I've been on the pod proper this year. That's it. This has got to be Phil's year. That's it. If there's one year where he has an advantage over everybody else, it is this year.
Yes,
albeit, and I will say this, that's it. He has to get his receiving right. So if he doesn't get his...
There's a lot of options on the free agency. It's the easiest one to correct.
It's all down to you, Phil. That's it. This is entirely a coaching thing because you've got everything else. You just got to pick the right receivers every week and you'll win it.
It's true.
That's it. That's the way you'll throw it away. You play D.D. Westbrook every week.
Yeah. Tom's Phil is 2-0 then, while Tom falls to 1-1. So we'll go to Bednators against Bucking the Trend in the B-Bowl next.
Dear me, yes, indeed. B-Bowl, I like that.
Yeah, the B-Bowl. There you go. Bednators did face Bucking the Trend last week in also a battle of the undefeateds, but it didn't live up to that hype. No. I guess it was an 85-66 victory for Bednators. Another solid day by Bednators, but again, speaking paper over the cracks, Lamar Jackson plays well, but the rest of the team does not really. Yep. On the other side of the ball, while Bucking the Trend was somewhat fortunate to win their week one game, and it came back to bite them this week. A similar performance, but deservedly ended in a loss.
Yep, that's one way of winning your first game. You get a gypsy in your first game. Starts mean to go on. Look, we're going to say this. There's nothing in this game. There's absolutely nothing. There is almost an identical scoreline, except the fact that Lamar Jackson can score a touchdown and Baker Mayfield can't.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
And look,
Lamar Jackson can also run for 120 yards.
that tends to help too. But I will say this: he's more accurate, he's more dangerous, and he's got the better receivers.
Ooh, better receivers?
They seem to be working better for him. Baker and his dream team.
Yeah,
well,
the Browns are in a funk right now. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
it's because they've got a QB with a massive ego.
Yeah.
They've got receivers with massive egos.
Yeah, they do.
And they've got a head coach that can't manage egos.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
Freddie Kitchens is when you it's your first job in the NFL, and you come in with Baker, Odell Beckham, and Landry, and you go, all right then.
Yeah.
All right then. That's it. What do you do with that? That's it. And this is the thing with the Browns is that that's it. He's got Baker, and Baker's a very accurate QB. And he's very, very, he drives that team on. But fantasy-wise, is he going to be the guy that you're looking for? The answer is no. He's not going to be the guy you're looking for. Whilst Lamar is, and Lamar seems to not have an ego, and Lamar seems to have people around him that can score, and he likes throwing to multiple targets, not just Odell Beckham.
Yeah, he does spread it around.
That's right. So that's where he gets. Baltimore have done it right, and they've got a head coach that's known for doing that. So he's not won the Super Bowl for nothing, right?
No, that's true.
So look, that's the difference here. Everywhere else is fairly even, and I do feel a little bit.
Yeah, it's curious, isn't it?
Because you look at Mike's team and you think...
I would say on paper, outside of quarterback, Mike arguably has the better lineup there.
Yeah, well, that's it. And especially when you bring in... And you look at the bench, I know Melvin Gordon's there and he's holding out and whatever. But
and AJ.
That's it. But look, Randall Cobb comes in as the number 2 receiver this week. AJ Green comes back from injury in 2 weeks' time. Corey Davis is just a constant source of disappointment.
I think he's been cut now.
For all.
Yeah,
that's it, exactly that. And Tariq, as is Tariq Cohen. So,
three-way backfield.
That's right. So I think you bring Cobb into that equation, especially as he's playing Miami this week. That team fires better. And Kamara is a massive disappointment. It's only six.
Yeah, and he's a worry now that Breeze has gone down.
100%. But if they lean on him, which they may, but Teddy Bridgewater again, one of those that runs around a lot.
Yeah.
Then there's a potential to be massive, but yeah, I think the game scripts will go against him. On the other side,
can we just, before you give your analysis, Ollie's bench beat Mike's starting score?
Yes, this is true, but he did have Aaron Rodgers as well, which so if you carry a QB, then
but only 18.
That's it. Only 18, yeah, that's fair, but that's it.
He had James White.
Aaron Jones as well. I said on the other side, yeah, Ollie's team is better on the full.
Yeah.
Though I think there's a lot of streaky players, and he did make life quite difficult for himself by playing guys like Will Fuller, who
that was the one on the pod last week. Ollie was here, and I said to him, "Would you maybe swap out Fuller for White?" Now there wasn't a great deal of difference, 5 points of difference, but difference between 4 and 9 could clearly change your game.
You play Will Fuller, he's going to score you those 40 yards or 400 yards, or you play Aaron Jones, who is the RB1.
I get the bench because they have been splitting the backfield. Jones has definitely been better at the back, and Minnesota are good against the run.
That's it. Granted.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville, no slouches.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Will Fuller should not have started.
Yeah,
we can agree on that.
That's it. Watkins gets open, you expect more from the week previous, but that's it. Just again, as we said earlier on in the preamble, it was someone else. Hollywood Brown, same thing. That's it. Still ticking over with 86 yards. It's great, and add touchdowns to that. So you got David Johnson. Again,
not looking good. That O-line is terrible.
That is. And you see how much Kyler Murray's going to get battered this year, poor guy. So, look, I was going to really rely on Lamar to pull some results out of the bag here. 85 points isn't great.
Can we just observe what the hell is going on with the scoring graph?
That's huge, isn't it?
If you can see on the screen, that cannot be right. Yeah, that can't be right. Anyway, continue.
It's definitely not. No, it's just so. But yeah, 85 points won't win you many weeks. But yeah, this week you got to add jail.
Sure. And the B Bowl, the first B Bowl goes to the detonator.
Yeah. Of
the Bees. So there you go. Our next one then is the Green Mile against the Dream Team. The Green Mile faced off against the Dream Team in what we colloquially coined the Childhood Bowl in last week's episode. And it was a close one. It was a close one. It was the closest game since Corona Bowl 10, in fact.
Yeah, so
93.7 to 93.14 in favour of Ross's team, the Green Mile. Ross had a reasonably good day, actually, spreading the points around thanks to Matt Ryan, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper and Emmanuel Sanders, who went for 25, 10, 10 and 18 respectively. On the other side of the ball, it was another spread day. Wentz got 20, Kerryon Johnson got 15, Ezekiel got 18, and the Browns D got 17, and ultimately it just fell to the Green Mile.
Yes, it did. So we have to reward Ross's team for what we can only consider consistent scoring.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the consistent scoring. We like teams that go into double digits and around double digits, and that's it. If you can get there, you'll be competing every week, and so it's been. Look, there was every reason that Emmanuel Sanders would not do as well there. But
crazy.
Very, very well done.
How he got to that was mental.
Yeah, exactly that.
The closing sequence to that game was just ridiculous.
It's just absurd. So, yeah, and there's a lot of bad matchups in there, and they've somehow come through the matchups, which is great. Even Devontae Adams even got to there without scoring touchdowns. So fantastic.
Yeah, that's the thing we said in last week's show. Devontae Adams in the last 4 games against the Viking had a touchdown in every game. So, on paper, daunting matchup against Xavier Rhodes, but typically he does well, and he did again.
I will say this as well. I think that Ross has arguably the best receiver set. Arguably.
In the league?
No, in this game. Yes, in this game. That's it. I think that...
Well, considering the opponent, Viv, going with a 31 personnel heavy set.
Well, yeah.
with Diggs as the receiver and nuts.
That's it. A little bit nuts. But no, I think that Ross's receiver set's good. And I think it's up there, top 3 in the league, if not top 2. If Michael Thomas decides to, the problem is now that going forward, that Michael Thomas is going to be hit by that.
Yeah, he still figures to post, I would say, wide receiver 2 numbers.
I think so.
But you're right, it's definitely not.
I like Jacobs. I think he's going to have better days, and say that the 3 guys there, you know what you're going to get from them. They're all going to be, especially Adams and Cooper, are going to be locked in our wide receiver 1s. So even Sanders really. And Baltimore will have better days as well. On the other side, I do feel for Viv here.
When you lose one like this, it's so narrow. I don't know what was on the bench. I think I just scanned. There was nothing.
Vance McDonald with his dodgy
probably never going to start him, especially after week 1.
I wouldn't either. So
he didn't play week 1.
No, that's it. I don't think you can really. You got into the week looking at. You'd want more from Mixon. But unfortunately, the
problem is he's coming in off that sprained ankle.
And the Bengals got absolutely rolled.
They did.
So
at home, no less.
At home, which is hilarious. So, they haven't got better defensively over the summer. But other than that, again, consistent scoring's good. Browns D's going to pull up some wins for him this year because they're quite good.
Wentz was probably where the dream team lost this. I watched something again. The Eagles were in a funk for the first half. Kind of came alive. Aguilar even dropped a touchdown that would have given them the win. Would have been the
those
difference.
2 picks hurt him here. That's it.
Marginal though. It's marginal.
That's it. Matt Ryan had 3 picks, but at least he had 3 touchdowns.
That was the key thing of this game, actually, because this game would have come down to the Monday night. I think. Well, actually, no, it would have gone to Tuesday. But we had the quarterback off in Matt Ryan. And,
it's nice to see Zeke back firing. That's it.
Yeah.
Weird. Stephon Diggs' fumble. Yeah, poor guy. So there are plenty of things you can blame for the Dream Team, but they're up there. We'd be able to get to 100 points every week, so that's good.
Absolutely. And Ross takes this series. Where is Ross's team? Is he up here somewhere? Yep, he's up here. Ross takes the series to 3-3, ties the series.
Just about.
Just about. So our next game then, it turned out to be probably the most competitive in terms of score. No, not quite. I'll just preview the game. Here we go. Fudge Flies against Pray to God I Do Better. Pray to God, I Do Better took on Fudge Flies in week 2, and they had quite a star-studded top 3 scores, getting 30 points from Russell Wilson, 23 from Julio Jones, and 22 from Odell Beckham. That was en route to an 117-point day, which was enough to see off Fudge Flies, who, other than Dak Prescott's 34 points, that wasn't a great deal to speak about, as they stumbled to 85.
Yeah, we sucked. Yeah, this is definitely the flaw for this team. Or at least we found it.
Yeah, I think you're right in saying it's the flaw. When McCaffrey, we said on last week's show this game would be all about your Colts and your Cowboys. We did that on Thursday, and it turns out Christian McCaffrey and the rest of the Panthers crapped the bed and set you off really to a slow start. From that point on, I thought it would be difficult for you to
uphill task. Yeah, I think that if McCaffrey and Marlon Mack are definitely the two that will make my day.
Tennessee was a tough matchup too.
So I didn't have much more of an option now. I think you look at my bench as well. There wasn't a lot to write home about there, Mikey. I don't feel too bad about that. That's it. Mike Evans has been a constant disappointment so far. I can't imagine that was.
No, I think that's going to turn around. It's been Chris Godwin the first 2 weeks. It's going to be Evans' turn.
He's been ill. He's going to get better days. That's it. What I am a bit slightly concerned about is Damian Williams is absolutely not the running back that was expected this year. So that's going to have to be resolved at some stage. But yeah, as I say, look, this is going back to the Holy Trinity sort of thing a minute ago. Is that if McCaffrey, Mack, and Prescott plus one more play well, I don't need to worry.
It's true.
I don't need to worry. And I finally, after 10 years of being in the league, found myself a boom and bust team. Excellent stuff. I'm riding that wave. On the other side, I think Ollie's team's great. I really do. I think he's got a great balance there. As we've seen, if Wilson, Jones, and Beckham plus one more do well,
I believe the only team to not start a running back.
That's bold.
To start for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess you could say
that'll be it. Yeah.
So he went with a 1 personnel, 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end.
Yeah, so he's playing Cooper Kupp on the jet sweep all the time. That's it. But yeah, Mark Andrews is a really inspired choice. I think that's
2 tight end. It was 2 personnel. I lied. 2 tight ends and 3 receivers.
Well.
Definitely the first coach to do that.
Yes, 100%. That's it. And that bold approach did pay off. I think that he's going to be well set now, and that should be the standard where he should be at. I don't think Mark Andrews is going to score 17 points every week, but
he's getting the yards. That's the thing.
He's going to be getting touchdowns. Yeah. This is the breakout. This is the George Kittle for last year.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
The definite value tight end.
He's got Kenny Golladay on the bench as well. He's going to have his days, and even David Montgomery once he hits full stride. So yeah, this could be a scary team.
It's strong. It's very strong.
Well, no more we need to say on that. Ollie is 1-on-1.
I can't slag it off, that's the thing. I'd normally slag teams off like that, but that's it.
No, it's a good team. Pray to God I do better are now 3-1 all time against you, Chris.
They've had a good team for at least 3 of those.
Yeah,
so there you
go. Right, next game then. We have the the one-sided bowl, we should probably call this one. It was Gridiron Gang against Ixan. Gridiron Gang took on Ixan in week 2. Gridiron Gang trying to reverse the horrendous win-loss record that they had against Ixan, but unable to do so. Surprise, surprise. Gridiron Gang fell 93-102 to Ixan. It all really came down to Gardner Minshew against the Texans D, and the absolutely bold play of Gardner Minshew paid off. He only got 18, but that was enough to send points the other way from the Texans and gave him the win. Elsewhere, Dalvin Cook rumbled for a 75-yard touchdown en route to 25 points, with Derrick Henry plunging it in from the 1-yard line. Guess everyone saw that coming for 15 points. On the other side of the ball, Brady's back. Brady or bust is firmly the strategy for Gridiron Gang once again. He got 28 points. Brandon Cooks got 14, and the Texans D got 14. And the rest was just kind of solid.
Can we just talk about what is a collector's item, which is a Tom Brady rushing touchdown? I saw it.
I got it on the bingo card. There you go. Chalk that one up.
Tomorrow.
It's funny because both my quarterbacks actually got a rushing touchdown that week. Goff got one as well.
There you go. I can still understand it with him, but Brady, when he...
he's not done that for a while.
It was hardly a rush. That's all I can say.
Yeah, just a poke.
He just fell in. He fell in there. Right, so let's get into this one. Ben's consistent scoring again. That's it. And I hate to say it, that he is playing the 3 running back set very well here.
Yeah.
He's played the field. Dalvin Cook is his MVP this year. That's it. But Derrick Henry could well be that guy.
Everyone was... sorry.
He'll get you a touchdown every week. he'll get.
That's the thing. I think all the Titans, if the Titans can get to the thing, I think all the Titans, if the Titans can get to the goal line once in a game, he's going to get a touchdown
100%.
once a game. And it was tricky coming into the draft process because everyone else probably had the same view that Henry, he had those 4 good games at the end of last year, but it was such a nightmare all season long, and if they fell behind, he just gets taken out of the game. When the games are close, he's definitely going to do well. With that defense playing really well like they are, that's probably going to be the case more often than not. I'd like to see them do it against someone other than Indianapolis, and who did they play in week 1? The Browns, where they completely crapped the bed. So, but certainly at the start of the season, Henry's paying big dividends.
Massively. There are guys then there, so you expect the Gurleys to be doing well, so the George Kittle's up there, so maybe not as dominant as he was last year, he's sort of been found out.
No, the Niners, I think the problem with Garoppolo was you could see them spreading the ball around a lot more, with it, especially with all those running backs and everything as well. He's
not a safety blanket for a rubbish QB this year, so that's different. Whilst with you, that's it. Again, yes, that's massively Brady or bust. Brandon Cooks is, again, boo or bust. That's just the way he plays. Everyone else, however, that's it. I mean, Hopkins is a tough matchup against the Jags.
Yeah, that was probably the most disappointing thing. I think
he will have better.
I was never going to bench Hopkins.
Yeah.
And I actually looked, I was reading some stuff. That's his worst game against the Jaguars and Jalen Ramsey in, I think, his last 6 or 7 meetings. Well, usually, he goes for double-digit points. Yeah. Which might have got me the win here. So,
with a touchdown would have done. So I think Juju going forward, we're going to have to watch out to see how that gets affected. I don't think it will necessarily, but I do think that without Big Ben, he's definitely a different animal. DJ Moore is what he is. It's 89 yards is, I think, a fairly good return for that.
It's kind of like the other teams. I just didn't have that, other than Brady, I didn't have that other boom guy to get me over the line this week. We talk about the consistent, the getting to the holy grail of 90 points or whatever.
Yeah.
I got there. It'll go your way sometimes. It won't. It was a close game. I can't really ask.
And Devonta Freeman.
He's had 2 tough run defenses to play against, but it's also a split backfield at the moment. It looks like so.
It's difficult. So and I think you got the Texans do. So they're always going to turn up. Yeah. But I think Ben again. He's on the roll. Up to 100 points again. It shows that he doesn't need a QB as well to make his team.
Indeed,
so
that's when you know a team is good.
That's right. And but bold play playing Gardner Minshew. He said not many would do that.
No.
Towards the end of the game, he definitely proved that he was NFL worthy.
Yeah.
So.
And had he played Drew Brees, who was his other QB, he would have lost this game.
100%.
There you go. A game-winning call there. And Ben does extend the win ratio in this one, 13-4 all time against me. And then our last game of last week, then we have Bare Necessities against Pakistan. Bare Necessities took on Pakistan with both teams searching for their first win of the season. Bare Necessities would be the one to get it, 97-75. Bare Necessities game, they were not helped out by their quarterback who only got 12, but a consistent effort everywhere else practically gave them the 96 points they needed. On the other side of the ball, Josh Allen, unexpected play at the start of the season, you could say, but he did well with 24 points. Behind that, though, not really a great deal to speak of. I should also have added that Ixan has gone to, were they 1-1 now, or 2-0? I think they were 1-1, and Gridiron Gang fell to... Sorry, they're 2-0, and I am 0-2.
Cool. Okay, well, I think Josh Allen's going to start with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to be a really good fantasy QB.
He's a bit like Jackson, where he's got the floor of the rushing, but he's actually been better as a passer.
100%, that's right, exactly that. On a fairly underrated pass attack there. That's it. They've still got decent receivers. They just don't really necessarily... It's not very flashy in Buffalo, is it? So
John Brown, Cole Beasley,
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
That's it.
And was it Foster? Robert Foster?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have the flash in them, but if you can find them and you got the way of doing it, and say you can run around a lot, then fantastic.
Yeah.
After that, that's it. I hate to say it though, Pat. That's it. Might be a bit of a dud for you this year, my old mate, because Robert Woods doesn't appear to be the same receiver as last year, but neither does Goffin appear to be the same QB.
It's a bit like Tom's teams.
Yeah.
Just sorry to cut it. So, like you said, so with Robert Woods, with Cup being back, it's going to be a 3-way split, whereas it was pretty much a 2-way split with a bit of Jeff Reynolds.
Yeah.
Bell is obviously Same situation, exact same situation as Fournette.
Yeah.
Starting quarterback goes down. If a team can take him away, they're not doing anything.
No.
Michelle, he's in a 3-way backfield.
Yeah.
I think there was an amazing stat that I read. I think on 36 carries this year, he hasn't made one tackle on this, which is crazy for a running back.
Both his running backs fumbled. Hilariously.
Deshaun Jackson got injured again. Money on that would have probably
100%.
returned. Not much. Curtis Samuel.
I just wouldn't trust any Panthers receiver.
And of course, he lost Tyreek Hill in week 1. We can't
Yeah,
forget
that's
that.
it. And then going down, he does, as I say.
Yeah, the bench is also sorry.
Yeah, that's it. And then with guys who aren't necessarily going to be, firing on all cylinders every week. Though I would play Hardman this week.
Yeah, even Terry McLaurin has looked good.
We'll come around to that in a bit. On the other side, Ben Necessities again. That's it. He's picked a very solid team this year. I think the thing last week was that his receivers were really good. That's it, and worked. This week maybe not quite so much. Lockett and Edelman are those sort of receivers that see if they're going to get a touchdown, then they're going to be great. If they're not, then is the volume going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
I think for Lockett, sure. But for some reason Russell Wilson doesn't like throwing to him. Touchdown wise, Will Disney's back. There's bigger guys in that offense. Edelman exactly the same as that. He's got 2 flashier receivers alongside him.
Yeah. We didn't credit Mike for starting Antonio Brown.
I
by the way.
did not do that.
We need to credit Mike. You get a clap,
That's
Mike.
it, absolutely.
Well done.
Because
that was a bold move.
saw it there and it worked.
Shame it didn't get you the win, but
no.
Well done all the same.
But you've still got him. So that's it. Good for you. But the one thing that I think you can be disappointed is that Deshaun Watson obviously in a very tough matchup. I'll give you that. That's it. And Jacksonville still are a tough matchup, despite the fact that they got cream week 1.
Yep.
Is that Deshaun Jackson got 12 points there? We would be talking in a completely different manner had he gone over 100 points and Deshaun Jackson scored 20 plus.
Absolutely.
And we'd have gone, this is a consistent scoring team, and it is.
Definitely.
So I think Brader again is a value pick. Especially with no touchdowns.
Yeah. It was a really odd run. I mean, Cincinnati were just awful last week because all 3 running backs for the Niners had good days. It's not going to happen a lot, but
no.
Yes, it's a committee, but Brader is the 1A.
You won't get matchups like that every week. Watson aside, you've got at Cincinnati, at the Jets, at Oakland, at Pittsburgh, at Miami. That's one thing I would say.
Easy matchup.
Yes, exactly that.
Easy matchup.
Arizona plus New Orleans without their QB. So look, I think they picked a hot week there. Pat Stan's team is not that great, and he's used to that. And I think Pat's got a long way to go until he turns his fortunes around. Sadly.
Yeah, certainly. Bare Necessities moves to 4-3 all time against Pakistan, and that is the last of the week 2 matchups. Bare Necessity goes 1-1, and Pat goes to 0-2. So we will look. We have no power rankings for you, unfortunately, as yet. Tom has football, so they will not be posted, at least while we're doing the podcast, sadly. And so we'll just take a look at the milestones, standings, and stats. So let's take a look at any milestones, any nice round numbers we can see. I'm not seeing any on the win side. Viv, did he lose again? Or did he win?
He lost.
He lost, so no new milestone for you. Anything in the L column? Ollie, I think Ollie won. He didn't yet, so nothing there. In terms of all time. You won, didn't you?
I lost.
No, you lost. No, nothing for you.
I said, but I will say this, Mike, you're back to 1-1. I said you may as well not have bothered.
And which is funny because if you look right above Ollie Gardner, also 22-22.
You may as well not have bothered either. I tell you what, I really hope they're playing each other this week because that would be like the shouldn't have bothered bowl.
We can call it the 500 bowl.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
for the only time in LSC history.
Anybody know who? Yes, I'm going to have a look through here.
We'll see in a second.
Oh, he's playing Pat Stan. That's a shame. Never mind.
So that is your milestones, your standings. Let's take a quick look at the standings and stats. So in the Southampton division, Tuckford's leading up not only the division but the league currently with 2-0 record with 261 points forward, bucking the trend in second place at 1-1, and then 2 of the 3 0-2 teams reside in this division: Dream Team and Pakistan. Looking at the Pause division, Ixan is 2-0, they're leading that up, but Ednators, Predigal Odubida and Tom's Tyrants are all 1-1. And in the Winchester division, the Green Mile is 2-0. No one would have seen that coming before the season. Bare Necessities, Forge Flyers 1-1, and Gridiron Gang 0-2.
Before we move on, can I just say that life averages out in a very nice way sometimes. And before Phil gets into like a shit fit that he's like the highest scoring team in the league and all that sort of thing, can we just have a look for a moment at what his points against are?
134.
That is, I believe,
the lowest.
The lowest in the league.
It is.
So there you are, Phil. It averages out this year, mate.
It ebbs and flows, and like you said, that's not going to hold throughout the whole season. Who has Phil played in the first 2 weeks? So the game we just reviewed, they played Tom, who, like we said, there's reasons behind his dud week, and in week 1 play Pakistan again. Two of arguably the teams that have struggled a bit out of the gates. I think it's fair to say.
I totally agree. So there are difficult weeks to come for you, Filippo.
Yeah. Speaking of the breakdown, he is 22 and 22. So yes, the points are low, but he would have also had the points to beat everyone. So credit is where credit is due. Iksan is 19 and 3, mighty impressive too. Bad necessities 15 and 7. And the Green Mile again, 15-7. Great start for Ross. Then we get to around the 500 area. And Pat 2 and 20 to start the season. Mike 4 and 18, but still has a win. And Tom's Tyrant 6 and 16. They still have a win. And then, yes, the two other two teams.
I think there is one thing as well, is that, Pat, you can't lose to a rookie coach. If you do that, mate. I
wonder if he did that against Ollie Gardner. Back in the day, I can't remember.
That's it, because that doesn't happen many times in history.
No. Looking at the coach score, so the points you left on your bench, amazingly, there were 3 teams that left. Well, sorry, so if you played your optimal lineup, so basically the difference between the points you could have had if you started the players that did better on your bench. Arguably a harder metric this year, so this is more telling than ever, because we've got such flexibility in the lineup. Any points you leave on your bench that would have done better should have been there, if that makes sense.
I can't believe that Phil's up there.
Yeah, 10 points. Mate. But Ben necessities, Green Mile and Bucking the Trend all with 0. Green Mile and Bucking the Trend probably make sense. Probably 2 of the worst depth teams in the league. But Ben necessities have a bit more.
Dave, mate.
Yeah.
All in.
But yeah, like you say, Phil's team, 10 points. Really, it was quite low across the board until you get to the bottom. Pat left 20 points, so his woes are mildly self-inflicted, let's say. And Bedednade is 25, leading up 76 points through 2 games. It's pretty crazy. Sammy Watkins is about half of that.
Yeah, it's true.
Just a note. And then that brings us to the true ranking. Surprising no one. Phil's nearly got a perfect score. Like co-training, letting you down there, Phil. 45 points. Ross's team on 43. Ixam 41. And as we go down, pretty much as you'd expect. Again, it's too early in the season, really, for this combined view to really tell you anything.
Surprise package the Green Mile through 2 weeks, though, for sure.
Yeah, indeed. And that is why the episode is named Changing of the Guard, because, we have a few old faces at the top, like Ixan and Tugfarts, but the Green Mile leading their division, that's new.
Bucking the Trend, second in the division.
And Pretty Good I Do Better. They're obviously tied second in their division, but last few years they've kind of been a middling team, and they look like they could take a step forward this year. So
great.
And that brings us to the end of that segment. So, like I said, no power rankings, so we will dive straight into the week 3 games, and we need to pick.
We are 15 minutes away from the hour, so let's see if we can whiz through these in 15.
Oh, do you need to go? Because
I do not. But I just want. I'm thinking of the feedback that we got. We listened to the feedback.
On Ross's stag do, I said to Viv, last week we streamlined the show by cutting down the news and stuff and everything. It still ended up an hour and a half. But Viv said he kind of likes that.
Oh, does he?
But arguably, yes, I also don't want to take the piss. So we'll probably shoot somewhere in between the two. But before we do that, we need to pick a marquee matchup.
I think we've got it there. I think there it is.
You think that's the one?
I think it is.
Okay, so our marquee matchup this week then is Gridiron Gang against Tom's Tyrant. You haven't heard this yet, I know. Enjoy it. Savour it. Gridiron Gang takes on Tom's Tyrants in what is a rematch of Corona Bowl 3. And these two teams have struggled to open the season, so this really is a gut check game for you right here. Gridiron Gang 0-2, Tom's Tyrants 1-1. The projections currently have Gridiron Gang winning this 84-73. However, there is no starting quarterback in at the moment for Tom's Tyrants. Looking down the lineup, currently Gridiron Gang is going with 10 personnel again.
It's Monday Night Football.
It is 4 receivers and 1 running back. And in terms of changes, changes. Nelson Aguilar comes into the lineup for DJ Moore. Titans D comes on for Texans D. On the other side of the ball, like I said, no quarterback at the moment. Starter Phillip Rivers was dropped. In terms of other changes, I don't think there's anything at the moment, but they are going with a 30 personnel, 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. One last thing, and then Chris can speak. History of this matchup. Gridiron Gang are 5-6 all time against Tom's Tyrants.
I love it. That's great. It's Wednesday. That's it. Right. Yes. So QB-less Tom's Tyrants.
They've got Kyler Murray on the bench. He's playing. I don't know. He's playing Carolina at home. But yes, away with QB. So if we slot 20 points into that, let's assume the projection is probably more like 93 to 84.
Is Alshon Jeffrey fit?
No, he won't play either.
Okay.
Injuries. I should probably cover those off. Nothing else on Tom's side of the ball. On my side of the ball, clean bill of health 2 in the starting lineup at least.
Good. Okay. So let's assume that Aguilar's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I've got a few options on my bench. DJ Moore could come in, but Cam might not play. I don't think I'd be bold enough to play him, considering Marquez Valdes-Scantling and DK Metcalf too.
Yeah, I think who you got. Yeah, that's it. Singletary against the.
He's got a hammy. Unclear if he'll play.
That's old man Gore's playing. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this matchup then. I mean, I look at the left hand side, and I think to myself, Brady against the Jets. That's feeding time. That's it. But then after that, that's it. You've got Smith-Schuster against San Francisco, which in theory should be.
We'll see what Mason Rudolph. Again, he's another guy that's on my maybe list.
That's it.
I might not have another choice.
We'll see what happens when he plays. He cooks against Cleveland, tough in Cleveland. Aguilar against Detroit. Detroit are good defensively, but they are playing at home, so I suppose.
And he profiles at the least at the moment to be the number 1 receiver.
100%, that's it. Plus Freeman against Indianapolis, but he hasn't started well yet. So
no,
I think that's good. That's it. Titans against Jags at the bottom. The Thursday night game. I think could well be a really good result for the Titans there, especially against an ailing Jags offense.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it's it. Fournette for the same reasons. He's projected highly, but Tennessee have been great defensively this year. Same thing with New Orleans is that Carson hasn't started well, and going to go and play them right now isn't great.
Yeah, he could get yanked potentially with another fumble too.
100%.
Yeah.
Jeffrey not being fit's bad. Goblin against the Giants, I like that, especially in Tampa.
Yeah.
It's Eckler against Houston, tough.
Eckler's been great,
but he has been great. But that's it. But against them, it'd be interesting to see how he's suppressed. But we don't forget that the Cowboys are playing this week as well.
Speaking in terms of that's a great matchup.
Yeah.
In terms of Tom's options, probably for Jeffrey,
it's Gordon probably. No, but he's brought Robinson for that reason.
I mean, it could be James Conner if he's healthy.
Yeah. He's got Chark.
Yeah, maybe, and then it's
Probably
between DeMarcus Robinson, Geronimo Allison, and DJ Chark.
Yeah, that's it. I think probably in that order.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah, I think that Tom's got a few more better matchups, and I like the Cowboys against Miami. As we saw, the Patriots did do a job on them last week. The Cowboys are decent defensively too. I think anyone can be defensively decent.
Yeah.
I think probably we could join and be quite good defensively against them.
Probably.
So I think at this point, you may have to go for Tom.
Yeah.
But I say but these key players this year, i.e. at QB, at Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
That's it. And Chris Godwin could all face reasonably tough days. On the other side, I think that you've got certainly your key receivers, whether that be Smith-Schuster and Hopkins and Tom Brady, have decent matchups. Everybody else, I'm not massively hot on.
Yeah.
It could be closer than what I think, but I think I'm just about going to go for Tom, provided he can get his QB right and replace Alshon Jeffrey with one of the big scorers on his bench.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think I'll go for Tom as well. Not to say I don't like my team. What I've seen through 2 weeks is positives. I think, had I started the Brady in week 1, I would have been pretty consistently around 90 both weeks. I just haven't been able to break through. Like you say, some guys aren't quite firing at the moment, like Freeman, Smith-Schuster. I think my team will be okay in the medium, to long term. But for this week, it might be another week where I just need to find my feet. Whereas on Tom's side of the ball, yes, there's a lot going on. I back him to find a serviceable quarterback to stream. There are question marks, absolutely, but you know Eckler's been playing great. So is Chris Godwin, and like you say, if he picks another good streamer in, he can probably afford to have a possible couple of bump performances. So yes, I will go Tom's Tyrants as well. And so our next game then we have Pray to God I Do Better against Pakistan. Pray to God I Do Better take on Pakistan in another critical Week 2 matchup. Pakistan 0-2, still searching for their first win, while Pray to God I Do Better looking to build off of their strong week last week. Projections currently have this 85-78 in favour of Pray to God I Do Better. Roster changes. Pray to God I Do Better. They are unchanged at the minute, I believe, on the other side of the ball. I think Pat is also unchanged. Injury news, Mark Andrews is dealing with a foot injury, I believe. Didn't practice today, so I wanted to keep an eye on for the weekend. Deshaun Jackson, he will miss this weekend's game, is what I've seen. In terms of lineups, Pray to God I Do Better. They are going with their 2 personnel again currently. 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. Pakistan still unchanged, but they're going with 20 personnel. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. In terms of history for this matchup, where are we going? Pray to God I Do Better are 2-2 all time against Pakistan.
Are they going to be 3-2 at the end of this week? Pat's going to get rolled. Absolutely rolled. And
analysis done. Next game.
That's it. Yeah. So, here's the reason why. Look, he's got a couple of good matchups, and I'm not going to say Josh Allen against Cincinnati, as we proved this week. Cincinnati are garbage to play against. If Jimmy G can do it, then so can Josh Allen, especially as he's going to exploit some space. I think the Panthers against Arizona is sack central. Because as we said, the O-line's garbage in Arizona, and we want to see competitive play, but we're not going to see it this week. I think that you look at Ollie G's team, they're all playing in plus matchups. Really, I think Russell Wilson against New Orleans, that's great. He's going to be on offense a lot this week. Julio against Indianapolis, great. Odell against Los Angeles, shootout. Evan Ingram against Tampa, shootout. Cooper Kupp against Cleveland, other side of the shootout. Andrews against KC, leaky defense. Vikings against Oakland, pick fest. There's absolutely everything's a plus matchup there. Pakistan's absolutely is in the hole. He's not going to be able to get himself out the hole.
It's just looking at the bench. The only options he's got, realistic options, are probably Terry McLaurin
playing Chicago,
and Mecole Hardman
playing Baltimore. Tough luck. So that's it. Absolutely all in on Ollie G this week. Better players, better matchups. Pat, sorry mate, you have to have. It's a bit of a miracle if you win this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pray to God I Do Better. You know, similar in a way to my team. It's kind of been a bit of a sputtering start. I can't find my feet. Pakistan, same, but it's a bit more concrete where the issues lie. Like we said in the review, Le'Veon Bell, he's not got the starting QB there anymore. They're gonna lock him down. Michelle, it doesn't look like he's gonna break through. Certainly in uncompetitive games, at least. They're going to rest him, and same will be against the Jets. Curtis Samuel, with Cam not playing well, who knows? And obviously Jackson's out as well, so it's not looking ideal there. Like you say, on the other side of the ball, great players, good matchups, easy route to victory in my eyes. So we're both going Pray to God I Do Better here. Our next game then, Iksan take on the Tuckfards. Let me find some music. Here we go. Yeah. Classic NFL. Iksan take on the Tuckfards in a battle of 2 undefeated teams. 2-0, one will leave 2-1, one will leave 3-0. And currently it's almost split in the projections, 95-93 in favour of Iksan. Looking down at the lineups, Iksan starting Matthew Stafford over Gardner Minshew. Other changes, Calvin Ridley comes into the lineup for George Kittle. On the other side of the ball, Tuckfards, they've brought Larry Fitzgerald in for Dede Westbrook. He heeded your advice, there you go. So Iksan is going with 30 personnel. Is that right? Yep, 30 personnel. 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Meanwhile, the Tuckfards, they are going with 20 personnel. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. History of this matchup, Iksan are 7-9 all time against the Tuckfards.
Difficult this week to be able to judge this one. Look, Patrick Mahomes is playing against arguably the best defence in the league. Arguably.
No, I think they've slipped.
Do you think?
Their secondary is a bit banged up. They don't have Suggs anymore. They're playing away. I wouldn't be worried about.
Wouldn't you be worried about that?
Miami.
Alright, I'm going to change. I changed the wording. It's the most difficult test for him so far.
Yes.
And that should be interesting to see. But I do think it's going to be a bit of a chuck fest with him and Lamar trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen playing Houston's not great. Saquon Barkley playing Tampa's not great. They've really improved their front seven this year.
Yeah, and with the rookie quarterback there, they're probably just going to try and make him beat them.
100%. So there's going to be plenty of volume, but I don't know if there's going to be plenty of room to run. I like Larry there. I see it again. He seems to be evergreen. John Ross against Buffalo.
The trend's got to end at some point.
Bad there. That's it. Playing in Buffalo, no one really likes that.
Yeah.
Ingram against KC, that's got the potential for something to work.
I worry about that one.
But
because if they fall behind,
there is that. And
I don't think he's going to get a lot of run.
Look, the thing is though, I think when you've got someone like Lamar who he can do it all, do you need someone like Ingram? Except on the goal line. And if he doesn't get a touchdown, then he's just redundant.
That's it, yeah.
And then Patriots D against the Jets could be fun.
Yeah, that's potentially another 44-point coming out of there, Phil.
Exactly that. On the other side, Matthew Stafford gets Bourne against Phillies. We said it's a dodgy matchup. But best of a bad bunch this week. Gurley against Cleveland's the same thing, I would say, is that you've got Barkley against Tampa and I think Gurley against Cleveland again has all the hallmarks of being a bit of a tough one, especially as they're going across the country as well. Dalvin Cook against Oakland's a stud. I think he'll do great there. Tyler Boyd and John Ross are exactly the same type of thing.
I don't know. Tyler Boyd's been pretty good, reliably good.
He's the RB1.
Ross has been randomly getting production, whereas Tyler Boyd had 10 catches on 10 targets last week for 120 yards.
Against San Francisco, they're going to play Buffalo.
Yeah,
Buffalo,
I know.
It's
but
it's hard to work.
I think he's still going to be solid.
Andy Dalton's going to get picked so many times. So many times. Rick Cameron against Indianapolis, see why he's been brought in there. Derrick Henry against the Jags. Look, Derrick Henry's going to be boom or bust. Going to be like that all year.
He's historically done very well against the Jags.
Forget last year, that
99-yard rushing touchdown.
So, but you just got to enjoy the ride with him. You put him in. If you take him out, you're going to regret it. If you put him in, you're never going to regret it really, because you just know what he can do. I think Brett Maher against the Dolphins again. You can be a kicker and still be great.
Do you reckon they'd rest the kicker if they get up that big? Who knows? It might happen.
Reserve kicker points.
No,
and the Bears playing Washington well. So the Bears are great.
Yeah, Washington have been surprisingly good so far, but I would like to see they've played an Eagles defense which really hasn't looked terrific, and a Dallas defense which they're more bend don't break. They're not going to overwhelm you.
Case Keenum will resort to type soon, surely.
Yeah.
So who do we think? I think the Tuck Fires have gone out like an absolute the hair on fire for the last few weeks. I think that won't change. I do think that Patrick Mahomes and the Patriots D again and Saquon Barkley again will haul them over the line. But I think if they're going to play somebody that could challenge them, it's going to be Ben.
I've just noticed that fella's playing the Carolina kicker.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
He's the number one kicker in fantasy.
Is he really?
I shit you not.
He would have been after week 2. If Cam doesn't play, though, I mean, I imagine Phil would, but if Cam doesn't play, he's got to get him out.
Yeah. Not going to go anywhere. What are they going to do? So yeah, I just think that the Tuck Fuzz, as we say, put a carpet over their cracks. Whether or not a carpet holds and they don't fall through the floor, who knows? Ben's team does have the potential to be able to go out and they'll beat him. I think their 3 running backs are as good as any of the people's in the league, any teams in the league. I'm not massively keen on these receivers, but then I'm not keen on many people's receivers so far. I think that they're going to possibly, it's going to be a very close game. I think Phil again will rely on the power of Patrick Mahomes to score 15 points more than any other QB and then and beat them.
Okay. I can't believe we didn't choose this as the marquee matchup, to be quite honest with you. Can we have a co-marquee matchup? I think it's deserving of it.
Sure.
2-0 teams. They've both been very good. But I'm going to go Ixan because of that exact reason you said, Phil. It does feel like he's papering over some cracks at the moment. Whereas Ixan, I look down that lineup and it is an enviable lineup. Okay, the quarterback's not the best. He's going to roll with Stafford now. I'm not particularly in love with that. But I could see Mahomes not having quite as good a day as he has done in the first 2 games. And then I think there's enough inconsistency and worry on Pat's side of the ball. Yes, he's got the Patriots defense, but Ben's got the Bears. For Ixan really to have an opportunity for an upset here. I don't know if it is an upset. It kind of feels like one, but they are 2 very good teams. But yeah, that combination of Gurley, Cook, I really like Boyd. Ridley, I think, could do well as well. And like I say, Henry's historically done well against the Jags. I think that core group of skill players should do enough to overwhelm the Tugfarts. I agree, it could be very close though. So we are split on this one.
And to be fair, NFL.com says it's going to be very close too. So we're not wrong. We can't be wrong.
We can't be wrong. Next game then, we have the Green Mile against Bucking the Trend. The Green Mile take on Bucking the Trend in a key Week 3 matchup. The Green Mile, one of the other 2-0 teams, taking on the newest coach in the LOC. Projections in this one currently have the Green Mile winning at 95-84. Looking down the lineups, Ross's team is unchanged at the minute. On the other side of the ball, Bucking the Trend. Does Justin Jackson come back in? I can't remember if...
I think he was already there.
I think he was already there, but Orlando Cobb comes in favour of... Delaney Walker, there you go. The Green Mile is going with 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers and 1 running back. Bucking the Trend is going with 20 personnel, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, I think, again, it's going to be a bit of a slog for Mike this week. But I will highlight this. His receivers all have plus matchups. So we look at there, we have Brown against the Jets, we have Thielen against Oakland, and we have Cobb against Miami. I think if there's one week to bring Randall Cobb in, it's this one. Because he's not only going to be playing Miami, but he is the number 2 receiver this week. Michael Gallup's gone down, and he'll be out for a little bit.
The constant worry, though, is with the receivers in these kind of games is if they don't get in on the points early, they might not get in on the points.
No, this is it. But what I am a little bit concerned about is the shakiness of, firstly, the D against Seattle. Playing in Seattle is tough. Playing Kamara in Seattle with a QB that's coming in after 4 years out from not being a starter is tough. Playing Justin Jackson, who has been playing second fiddle to Eckler all year, against Houston is tough. Playing Baker against Los Angeles, albeit at home, is tough. There you go. on the other side, that's it. Ross does have some key ones as well. Amari Cooper for the same reasons as we've talked about. Anyone playing Miami is going to be out. I think that Denver playing in Green Bay, I think Sanders...
Denver's D is not what it used to be.
That's it, exactly that. Denver's D is not what it used to be. No, and Green Bay's D is absolutely way better. Way better.
And Flacco, he doesn't look washed up, but he doesn't look like the Flacco we remember.
Absolutely not. But Sanders has been
don't get me wrong. He's been the receiver to own so far.
That's right. So Devontae Adams, I think we look at him for consistent yardage, and we're going to get that. It's just if he adds touchdowns to his game at the moment, we're talking about a great acquisition there. Josh Jacobs against Minnesota is tough in Minnesota.
Yes, that is a tough one.
And Michael Thomas, we'll have to see whether or not his value gets brought down. I think Ravens against KC is a terrible matchup, obviously.
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan against Indy's good. So I think that on that basis, both of them have really up and down matchups. I think that the points on here sway towards the Green Mile is not necessarily right. I think that it's going to be closer than you think. And I think that it's going to be the receivers on both teams that brings these teams up. I'd love to say Bucking the Trend to win, but I can't see it. I think the Green Mile has just about a little bit, has that little bit more, albeit don't expect them to be scoring highly, either of them in this game. I think that potentially Ravens could put up a very, very low score at the bottom, so he could be carrying low points. I'm expecting this to be a 85-90 point game at the very most. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think on Russ's side of the ball, if he was a coach that would make some changes, like obviously get the new defense in there. Obviously, he doesn't really have any options on the bench to turn to either. I think the rest of the starting lineup's fine, but like you say, Jacobs says that's a very, very bad matchup. I know Jones just did quite well against them, but week 1 they completely shut down Devonta Freeman and Ito Smith. So in an ideal world, he would come out. I think the rest of it is probably okay. Nothing particularly excites me, like you say, with Thomas now that Breeze isn't there. Adams is going up against Chris Harris, and Sanders is going up against a tough secondary as well. On the other side of the ball, though, like you said, it's just the inconsistency. That Mayfield hasn't looked quite in sync yet. Could be a good spot for him to get it right. We don't know. Kamara, you figure they're going to lean on him, but then offenses are always going to try and take him away. Sorry, defenses. Brown, I still don't know. You got to remember, yes, they fed him in week 1. Maybe that was to make a point. I don't know. We'll see if he repeats it in week 2. Thielen's got a nice, good matchup there, and Cobb, who knows as well. So, and like you said, the Saints D away to Seattle, not great either. This is I think the coach that makes the smartest changes is going to win this game, and I actually back Mike to do that more than Ross.
Who could he change to? That's the thing. Let's have a scroll around to the bench because, you know, it's the edge of
my issue with bucking the Trends team is firstly the defense. And then
I think
it goes further. That's what I'll say. Yes, I don't mind the Cobb start. I think it's worth a punt.
Yeah, for sure. So
Jackson would be the one I'd get out of there. Maybe for Delaney Walker
against the Jags, yes,
or even Peyton Barber.
Peyton Barber against the Giants isn't terrible. So, just ask Viv how surprising Peyton Barber was at times last year.
So I'm actually going to pick bucking the trend here because Ross has had 2. I think it's fair to say uncharacteristically good weeks given his career.
It's a fortunate win last week
in the LSE. Maybe not fortunate, but a good win. But yeah, he's not going to make the changes I think he'd need to make to get a win here. So I'm going to pick bucking the trend.
All right, literally bucking the trend.
Literally bucking the trend. And our next game is Bare Necessities against the Dream Team. Where's my music gone? Yeah, there we go.
Of course. There we go.
Bare Necessities takes on the Dream Team. The Dream Team still searching for their first win at 0-2. Meanwhile, Bare Necessities coming off their first win at 1-1. Projections quite tight in this one. 94 points to 91 in favour of Bare Necessities. Looking down the lineup, changes for Bare Necessities, none as yet. On the Dream Team side of the ball, I believe no changes either. Bare Necessities, they will be going with their 20 personnel, 2 running backs, 21 personnel, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers. The Dream Team will be going with 31 personnel, 3 running backs, 1 tight end, and 1 wide receiver. The history of this matchup, the Dream Team right there are 7-8 all time against Bare Necessities.
Home field advantage makes a lot of difference, and we got both teams that have got a lot of home field advantage. Look, I think here again it's receiver time. So we look at Ertz against Detroit. It's tough. But he's playing at home. He got
if Jeffrey and Jackson are out too. He got I think 16 targets or something in that game.
It's tough.
Crazy.
That's exactly it. The point is that it's tough, but when you've got a team which has got Wentz on it as well, plus those targets.
Yeah, it's a nice stack.
It's a very, very nice stack at this point. Diggs against Oakland, you can say exactly the same thing as we said about Thielen. We then get down to the backs there. I think this is where Ezekiel absolutely munches this week because there's a potential for a massive score here. So Browns against Los Angeles, I don't think that's as much of a tricky one as we saw last year.
You know what? The Rams don't typically travel well.
No,
it's not. Definitely not the best, but it's not the worst.
That's it, exactly that. And I don't think that the other 2 running backs are necessarily going to be a factor.
Does not inspire me.
But I don't think that's necessary when you've got Elliott in the matchup that he's got. On the other side, say Dave's team has been very consistent over the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks. This week I think it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think you know exactly what you're going to get from all of these guys. I think that in the moment, particularly Brader and Chubb are the guys, the number 1 running backs in their team, and they're gonna do all right. I think you see him again. Chubb against Los Angeles isn't as scary as it once was. I think Brady against Pittsburgh is not as scary as it once was. Watson is one of those QBs that can turn it on, and I think the Chargers in Los Angeles, I think he definitely will. Say Kelsey's going to be on the end of a lot of volume in Baltimore, or playing Baltimore. And if you alluded to earlier on, if the secondary is as banged up as you say, then dealing with Travis Kelce is going to be a real problem all day. I think down the bottom as well. So Rams against Cleveland. So Baker's good for a couple of picks a game.
We have a defense off in this game.
That's it, absolutely right.
But
and Justin Tucker against KC. Watch out for those kicker stats because there's going to be points everywhere. I think that Ben Necessities has it. I think that because the dream team's going to be carrying two players. I think, and
sure,
it's and Elliott's heroics may not be enough. I just think that I think Ben Necessities is a really nice place right now, and they're going to be good for 95 to 100 points a game, which isn't necessarily going to be the case for Biv.
No, Biv doesn't have any options to turn to on the bench as well. I completely agree. Mixon and Johnson are the players I'm really struggling with. Before I looked over the Ben Necessities side, I was actually thinking of picking the dream team to win this game. Despite those two, I'm not sure I can. Like you say, looking down at Ben Necessities, it's just a consistent team. Not everyone needs to fire. I'm not in love with starting your running back against your defense. It can still work out, don't get me wrong, but I think this profiles to be quite a high scoring game. I struggle with Edelman too, like you say, with all the mouths to feed there as well. No doubt he's going to have some decent games.
There's going to be so much offense there.
Lockett's been very... His first game he was very lucky to get 10. Last week he got something like 8, and again that kind of felt... he got the targets that game.
There's lots of teams that are going to be on offense.
The problem I have is I think Ben Necessities has a lot of good, whereas the Dream Team has some great and some not so great. And that's where I'm coming. I think Elliott, Diggs, Ertz, even Wentz maybe, they all profile to be absolutely great plays. But then you've got Mixon, Johnson, where I'm like, but then on the other side, there's nothing that I'm overly in love with or overly not in love with. I'm going to go with the Dream Team. I think there's going to be enough players there just to absolutely go off. Yeah. They've been somewhat unfortunate not to win a game yet, I think. But could definitely be a close game.
Elliott could conceivably score 30 points.
Yeah, that's my thinking, because you have that. It's such an advantage. We haven't seen the boom aspect for Ben Necessities yet.
Yeah.
I think until you do, And we might be overly harsh on Mix and Johnson as well. I think that's worth saying. I don't think that they're in a great spot, but they could certainly produce, and if they do that, Dream Team's got a very clear route to victory. Our final game then, it is Forge Flyers against Bedetonators.
We're off again. It's off for the commercial.
Forge Flyers take on Bedetonators in the battle of the 1-1 teams. Forge Flyers currently projected to win this 102-95 in the lineups. Any changes from you, Chris? Doesn't look like it as yet. No, on Bedetonators' side of the ball, they bring Aaron Jones in favour of Tyrell Williams. Other than that, I don't think they've changed their lineup at the moment. Forge Flyers, you are going with a 30 personnel, 3 running backs and 2 wide receivers. Meanwhile, Bedetonators are going with 20 personnel, 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers. The history of this matchup, Bedetonators are 7-6 all time against you, Chris.
Well, this could be a bit of a shootout. So, I've been looking forward to this week. That's it. I really have. Because this is the week... Last week I thought to myself, well, I'll take a down week because week 3 is going to be great. It really is. I have plus matchups. And
you do have a lot of nice...
That's it. I got nice ones. I got Dak against Miami. I got Christian McCaffrey against the garbage Arizona defense. I've got Marlon Mack and T.Y. Hilton against Atlanta at home. Whee! I've got Mike Evans against the Giants. Plenty of offense there. Damian Williams against Baltimore's maybe not so good. But, see...
Who have you got on the bench?
We'll see about that.
You've got Carlos Hyde, possibly. Devin Smith even maybe.
Yeah.
And even maybe Darren Moore.
I might bring him in. But look, David Williams has been one of those that's going to cause me a little bit of a thorn in my side throughout the year because he's obviously not the key running back that we were looking for there. And certainly not the touchdown hawk either. So perhaps a little bit of a change there. On the other side, I mean, I think that Ollie should be looking at this and rubbing his hands together as well because he has got a lot of players in a lot of games. He's got Lamar, he's got Hollywood Brown, he's got Sammy Watkins all in the same game, which serves to be an absolute shootout. David Johnson has been disappointing throughout through 2 weeks. I think Aaron Jones won't be though. I think I think at home against Denver is going to be seeing a lot of the ball.
David Montgomery did quite well against the Denver defense in Mile High, so sounds the reason he can do well.
San Francisco against Pittsburgh. Who knows what might happen there, especially with a new QB coming in.
Yeah.
And then finally that's it. The Houston pairing of Fairbairn and Fuller. We all know what Fuller's about. That's it. He's either going to go he's going to go for 40 or 400. That's it, nothing in between. So he's worth having a wild card there. Do I back my team? Absolutely yes. This week. That's it. Do I think Ollie's got a chance? Absolutely yes. Do I think this could be a real barnstorm of a game? Dick. But I do think, and I do wish that my team's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick your team too. Like you said, some really good matchups. Prescott against Miami, great. McCaffrey against Arizona, great. I said last week on the podcast and indeed the week before, I was still not convinced by this Colts offense. I've seen enough to have enough confidence in them to be reasonably good options. Yeah. I'm not going to go ahead of that yet. No. I'm going to gradually build up to that level, but I've seen enough to have confidence in them as starters and in what profiles to be probably a high-scoring game or a close game. I could see those both doing well as well. Mike Evans, like we said, he's got to have a good game at some point. It's a get-right game at home against the Giants. And, Bills against Cincinnati at home is nice too. Yeah, on the other side, Lamar Jackson, he's had 2 great games against arguably the 2 easiest teams he'll play this season. Can he play as well away in Kansas City where he actually has to play really well? That's the key. David Johnson's not been great, partly due to the poor O-line. Don't see that changing. I like Aaron Jones. Will Fuller, it's like Aaron. I think Allen Robinson's a great comparison last year.
Yeah.
But whereas Allen Robinson was still the number 1 in that offense, the reason that's a comparison is because they both tore their ACLs in the season previous. He was the number 1, so he got the volume. I don't think Will Fuller's getting the volume. And with that as well, it's led to his struggles. I'd like to see Badetnes go another way there. Hollywood Brown, if any game profiles him to do well, it's this one. Sammy Watkins as well. It's a crapshoot who's going to do well. I think 100%. We've established in the KC offense. I just see, and then Niners D against Pittsburgh, that could go one of both ways for me. It could be good or not good.
Yeah.
I don't think we should write off the Pittsburgh offense yet. So there's more I like on your side of the ball, Chris, and for that reason I'm picking your team.
Awesome. There you go. That's it. We have split. That's the first one we've agreed on, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, we both picked against me.
Okay. Other than that.
Yeah, I think you're. No, we didn't pick Pakistan either. No way. We both.
Everyone slags off Pakistan.
Yeah,
Sorry, Pat, but your team is crap.
Yeah,
so. Oh, I didn't say that. So I did. But no, so your team is it's not crap. It needs improvement. We're only on week 3. Look,
plenty of time.
You've got loads of time left. Ollie had loads of time left and won the league last year.
Exactly. But that does bring us to the end of the podcast. So we hope you've had a good time watching. Sadly, no random viewer asking us his fancy questions this week, but that's okay.
Did somebody do that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Seriously?
Our first random, and he subscribed.
No way.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Go back and watch it.
Oh my word.
You'll tell him not why.
Okay, well I hope you're here this week. Whoever you are.
If you watch at some point, yeah.
That's it. Please carry on watching. Yeah. I mean, and if you find this interesting, share it with your friends. And you never know, we might have a plush studio and, get on TV one day.
Yeah,
we've only been doing this for 6 years.
It takes time. I told you I was going to make it a global brand.
One day.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully, You can join me for the weekend's games if you want. If not, no worries. Have a good rest of your week. Best of luck in your matchups this weekend.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
You'll be there?
I'll be there.
Oh, you're way out
On
there.
Sunday.
Excellent.
That's it. I'll be there.
So best of luck in your matchups, except you're playing me. Have a good one, folks.